There's a real chance for it, especially with the way we saw them on map 1, and they had to overcome some obstacles there on Vertigo as well as Falcons kind of adjusted to what they were doing. However, just a week ago, Falcons did take this map off of Vitality back at the Blast groups. So, I mean, they've got a little bit of confidence on the map. They've got a little bit of, they've obviously got some things to work with. And I mentioned Snappy, very confident in the Falcons nuke and what they've been able to add in a short period of time. Xantar's is going to get things started out with a nice headshot towards Red Box, and Falcons is trying to cross without the cover of smoke, and they're paying the price.
It's a good start here for Eternal Fire in the pistol round, and 3 players left here for Falcons to try and recover this mess. Magisk and Senpai's head down towards Secret. They'll be creeping lower to the bomb site while Snappy is trying to distract and somehow winning fights with a Glock at that kind of range. Snappy is a nuisance at the moment, and it's all about buying time and distracting and allowing his teammates to move deeper into B.
Oh, that's huge. That's a huge gush, because even if there's player advantage, look at the HP on Xantar's and Wakadia. They can be taken out late during a retake situation. A stray bullet, oh, that would have been a beautiful kill to get. Now Falcons has to go, and they've got to find Calyx.
And that ramp rotation's coming in too, so Calyx is not alone anymore. He's got Xantar's with him, and this feels like a very good crossfire between the 2 players here. It's going to be very difficult for Falcons to get out of these windows, through the double doors, and into the bomb site.
They want a mistake that's not coming. Now they're just going to have to go for it. Xantar's very low on HP. They need to find Calyx, though. There's the peek. Good shot. And now Xantar swings from the other side. They needed that first kill quick, and Eternal Fire close out the round.
I can see a buy up straight away. No bomb plant for Team Falcons. We'll see what they decide to go with, and it is the force buy coming in for Falcons here. And you mentioned the frustration coming in, Jason, for Falcons, obviously being a team with a lot of expectations on them and individual players who have a lot of expectations of themselves. To not get through their opening game here in Katowice against Eternal Fire, it's got to be a stinging feeling.
Look, it's going to test all the resources that Falcons... hold the phone. We'll get back to that. This is an upper
quick play.
Tech9's Major inside the site. Senpai's running into their own Molotovs, and that has absolutely no success. Bomb is lost, and the round should be lost.
Yep, absolutely at this point. 3 Tech9s left. What sort of pathway can they find here, Falcons? Probably a one-way ticket to hell at this point. Walk6 watching from heaven. Down below into the hut. Boros ready to go in for the second pump. He's held back, showing restraint at the moment, and Major's deciding to go for a little push to clear out hut instead. He might have a fight in just a moment against Boros, who's just around that corner. And Major doesn't push the issue.
Yeah, this is going to fizzle out a little bit. I was going to say, it's going to put a test to all the resources that Falcons have brought in when you consider they've brought in Zonic as a legendary coach. They brought in Lars as the sports psychologist for the team to get everyone on the same page. All those resources are going to have to make sure these players are focused on the fact that this is a long-term play. The goal isn't necessarily to be incredible and world-beating right out of the bat. They have to build up to that.
Here they come into the site, and that final attack is kind of what you expected. An absolute meltdown. That's going to be Eternal Fire taking a second in a row, and Major, who had a fantastic first map individually while he is cheering their second round win here on Nuke.
He's got 5 kills. 5 kills, 0 deaths. 3 kills, 0 deaths for Xantar's in the early going as well.
Yeah, it's interesting what you brought up about the long-term project. Magisk was actually, you know, there's rumors coming out and obviously conversations that he's had saying, I was promised Nico. I was promised these big players. What's happening? And I think he was a little worried about the project, and then I suppose happy now he's got some pies and Snappy over there. But there probably was a moment where he went,
oh my good God.
What has happened? And that is a great nade to come in. And Eternal Fire, they've been fantastic with nades today, Jason.
Yeah, utility's been on point. That'll be a shout out to Major and the coaching staff for having everyone well drilled and well prepared. And for now, no progress can be made on the map. They haven't even made it to the red box just yet, and they still won't make it to red box. Deep tag with the scout. Walk6 not able to finish it off, but Wakadia is there. And it's 3-0 oh so quickly.
Oh, so quickly indeed. But we're right back to a buy here for Falcons. Well, I say back to a buy. It's their first buy coming out for Falcons here on Nuke. It's AK-47s being purchased up, and utility will be there to boot. So here's the chance. Here's the game really starting. There's the Xantar's nade. Boom! Mad and gone.
Yeah, tags him in the face, and then blows him up.
Wakadia. Wow, what a player he's become already. So excited to see if that continues. Coming into second map here, Falcons with the AKs out. Let's see what Snappy's got for us for the first round.
They're being real disruptive outside. Deep Molotov, deep nade again. Xanterra's just spamming. Grab the lineup before the smoke plume. Look at all the damage he's done. Oh my lord, what a tax Falcons is having to pay outside in the early going. They've even lost 2 players through the smoke. You ain't passing. You ain't getting by at all. This round is basically done, and Katowice is already pushing an overtaken lobby.
Yeah, Eternal Fire just dominant start to this. Madden turns back and spots out Katowice, who didn't detect Madden, didn't have a look towards door, and maybe that reopens a chance because Madden, once again, finds a headshot, and we're back to a 3v3.
Oh, he somehow found an opening. Really well done from Madden. How much further does he want to push into the upper bomb site? Snappy now coming back to lobby, but Madden's still very much on an island all on his own. Mini is smoked off. There's the swing. So Madden's going to clear this site out and give the information over to his teammates. Damn, for how good this round started, Madden has said, I'll see your opening 2 kills. I'll bring it right back for my boys, and now we've got a retake on hand.
Time will tick on. And Falcons feeling like
I don't think
Eternal Fire this round at this point.
I don't even think they really know how to retake this, all said.
Yeah.
They look a little shocked that they're in this situation.
Well, they throw utility around, they mix and match, and they got the flashes ready to go. Major coming in from heaven. Woxic setting him up. They're going to need the headshot immediately here. Boros gets one on Xanterra's, and an awkward fight towards Hell. Here they come through the top rafters. Madden with another one, and that will be the round for Falcons. Woxic flies up the ladder. Time is ticking, too far gone, and Madden with the 4K. That is incredible. What a turnaround for Madden and overall for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think Eternal Fire was dedicated to this idea of this like ramp push, and then they get those 2 kills outside, and it's still going. But because of that push, Madden's able to find a freebie on the first. 2 players from Falcons running around with knives out, running into players, and this one was special. Cracked open the upper bomb site, opened the round back up for his team. Huge impact for Madden.
Yeah, very useful player to have in your ranks.
And that was one of his trademarks in the old Ensra. Actually, hang on, we're gonna get a fast-paced round again.
Here they come, topside bust. Classic Snappy calling, and it's Magis going forward with a MAC-10. Wakati and Major pull a couple back, and Pius' job is to cut off that lobby wraparound, and well, he hasn't done it. So it's Boros and Snappy in a 2 versus 3. A post plan with a MAC-10 and a Galil, and Woxic's coming up through heaven. This is a far more doable retake scenario for Eternal Fire at this moment. And Snappy's close with that MAC-10 at the Tetris boxes. Here's the swing out. Boros with the rifle looking to try and draw those numbers back, but now it's just Snappy. They're running after him. MAC-10 needs this close kill, needs to get around the corner, but it runs out of ammo. The quick switch, and Major comes back in for the retake, and Eternal Fire have it.
Yeah, that's well held on to. Again, the opening kill goes the way of Falcons, but the main defense holds on just enough to make that sketchy. Good crunch from Ramp Room as well. Doubled up to take out the lobby lurk. And Eternal Fire hang on.
Major good work. And frustration for Madden because he's done so much work in the previous round to get them back into a winning position. They try that upper bust.
But by the nature of that call from Snappy, you mentioned it like the typical ENS hit with those MAC-10s, just getting fast-paced and going to the lower weapons, getting a bomb plan as well. They still have plenty of money to buy in this next one, so it's not like they're out of funds. It's not like that's any kind of a harsh reset. They come right back with AK-47s and Galils. But then you face the prospect of going outside into that absolutely deadly defense in the previous round, where Eternal Fire naded, spammed, Molotoved all the health away from Falcons. Major's having a start to this map. 4 kills in the last round. He's up to 11.
Major's having a start, yeah. Pius having the opposite. 0 kills at the moment. Hasn't got going. Xanterra sent a similar nade out that he threw earlier. This time spams some bullets through the smoke too. Boros is caught. 41 health left on him, and he now has to park the brakes just up on this red box.
He's forced out a bunch of utility, but he's taken some damage for it. And look at the nades on the Falcon side of things, excuse me. They don't really have a whole lot. They used 2 smokes to get that smoke wall going. They had 4 smokes on the map just as they started to fade. And that was all they brought into the round.
Slower approach, but it's going to be a similar attack into this top bomb site for Falcons, currently setting up for that kind of play.
I don't really know what you do in this situation if you're Falcons with no nades to find any access. You can walk outdoor, you can walk ramp room, and that feels about the options they have.
Well, they use their final pieces of utility, trying to use Boros as that late lurk outside. Santaris still has eyes on that, but that's the mistake. That's the overstep, and that gives a chance now for Falcons to move into this bomb site. Wakadia inside of the vent, under pressure, and forced back down it. Woxic comes in from heaven. Santaris has moved out of position, and that will release Boros from his prison outside, and he'll come around with a headshot. Now Falcons find their way into this top site, put the bomb down, and so far have kept Eternal Fire out.
That mistake, and I think it's a factor of Major feeling really nervous because he's the only one in the upper bomb site playing behind the silos, and he realizes they can walk outdoor, they can come out hut at any moment, and I think that pressure of being the sole defender is what forced him into a mistake. Falcons get away with one, steal around with very little nades to work with. I'll tell you what, too, if you're Zonic, you're really pleased with the play Boros just made, wrapping around Mini for a trade kill at the perfect time. Really, really pleased with his decision-making there and the patience that he displayed. Second round for Falcons on the board.
This is the mistake. We get to see it again.
Not even checking it.
It is funny, there's the two players we prefaced at the start of this round for opposite reasons. And it's a Major makes the mistake that gives Santaris his first kill of the map. A timeout taken here for Eternal Fire, their first of Nuke. Still got a buy, but they're starting to get to the bottom of the barrel with the cash.
This would be a great round for Falcons to win. You win this and you've at least carved yourself out a foothold for the second half, regardless of what happens for the rest of it. You likely get up to 4 after a win in this round, and you can work with that. Up in the hands of Woxic. Money hasn't been there for Falcons to get an ADVP on Santaris.
I haven't really seen too much outside control for Team Falcons, right? The only player that's really being put out there is Boros at the moment. It's been a lot of focus just hitting A.
I think they'll end up going back to it at some point when they feel like they have a little bit more economic control, but whenever they've gone out there, they've met Molotovs, nades deep towards Silo and Red Box and spam through the smokes, and I think they've taken so much damage and so many losses from it that at the moment they just don't want to mess with it until they know that Eternal Fire won't have all the utility to just harass any kind of presence there.
It's a slight tech issue here with Madden. We'll try and get that one resolved as quickly as possible.
And you could see as well, like we saw Falcons hit that upper bust with the MAC-10s that didn't work, but then the next round they kind of slow played inside and got a little bit of success with the major peak, the major mistake. And once you start having success at that upper bomb site, it's going to take away bodies and resources that maybe Eternal Fire is dedicating to outside. Instead of 2 to 3 players, you might be facing 1 to 2 players. Instead of 3 nades coming at you, it's only a couple. So having success elsewhere on the map could alleviate some of that pressure. We'll see when Falcons eventually decide to reinvestigate the outer yard. And it looks like Madden's happy and pleased with the admin's work. We're going to get the freeze time going, headed into round number 7.
Thank you very much, admin. Let's go. Eternal Fire. Again, as you mentioned, Jason, the Woxic's AWP is still here. He doesn't have to go against the AWP of Santaris on the other side. It's full rifle still for Team Falcons. They break those skylights, and they're ready to do battle again in round 7. If Falcons win this, they set themselves up a chance for a 4th round and a good half. Boros once again, the solo player outside, getting peppered down through the smokes. He's taking so much damage pretty much every single time. He's down to 48 this time around.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen at least 50 damage every time Boros has come out here. Still spamming. 3 players focus on this, but he does cross over before Woxic gets his perch up in heaven. And I don't know if they realize he's made it down because nobody has shifted.
Oh, a lot of spam down. Madden taken down to 52 health. They're going to follow that up with an aid and try and take him out, but they'll still stand with 5 players. But it's same old here for Falcons. That top site, it looks delicious. Under a minute now left in this round, and Wakadia is going to see all of that utility raining into the site.
They're set up for this. Defense is perfect for this.
And they've even got utility to keep them behind that doorway. Santaris is waiting for the same mistake, but Major ain't going to make it this time around. He ain't going to overswing. And Wakadia dinks, takes the fight. Magis wins it. And now there's a chance to open up this bomb site for Falcons. Santaris towards the back of the site. Remember, he's not alone. He has got help. Now coming in from heaven too. Major lays down the law with that MP9. And the AWP of Woxic cuts open this attack. Magisk gets down the vent, and he's actually the player with the bomb on his back. But unfortunately for Magisk, he's lost every single one of his teammates, and he's going to lock in the plant alone. Katowice close by, goes for the swing. Magisk got the headshot, but the peek from Woxic, it's too much to handle, and Falcons will concede this round. It's 5-2 for Eternal Fire.
Yeah, that time you don't see that mistake from Silos because there's a player already swinging wide at door, so nobody has to really worry about that. You have a third player in the upper bomb site as well, and by the time Falcons have enough success to actually swing on the bomb site, even Woxic Op has arrived at the party up in heaven. Just a really, really strong defense for this take. Good decision making, good rotations from Eternal Fire. They're up by 3. And this time money's starting to dwindle on the T side. They missed that first window of opportunity to catapult themselves into an economic advantage, and now they've got to continue battling. This time with the Tech 9, this time with the Mac 10.
Xantares, good outside play, being disruptive, catching Boros, and I think he's had his number the majority of times towards this outside spot.
This has been a problem since round 1, is the outside control from Eternal Fire on the CT side is limiting what Falcons can do on this map. And the fact they haven't been able to establish control or success, even to Redbox, is such a detriment. Nuke starts to feel so much more restrictive and small as a map.
And if you come back to ramp because you feel forced into a different position, you're going to have to walk into the sniper that is perfectly placed. And it's Woxic with a kill on Snappy.
This is so beautiful from Eternal Fire. This is so impressive.
Oh, missed shot from Woxic. That may give them a chance. A second follow-up miss, but he's got a teammate here with him. And they weren't ready for Major, who gets a double out of it. Woxic sends the nade up. Madden was low. Nade won't take him out this time, but you gotta feel like his death is coming very shortly. 45 seconds. And just think of the opportunities the Falcons had if they won the previous round. You said it, you'd be up to 4 rounds. You'd really carve out a nice half for yourself here on the T side. But without that round and without competing in the follow-up here, you're starting to look at a very scary half coming in. And the T side you haven't done enough in.
Yeah, this can end quickly. And I don't know, at some point Falcons is going to have to bite the bullet and go rip control of outside away from Eternal Fire. Take what you've seen so far, process it, and come up with a plan to avoid the spam and the nade damage. But you're going to have to establish that you can take that part of the map and that you can make that a dangerous part of the map. Otherwise, Eternal Fire is just going to keep doing what they're doing, which is working you, which is putting the right defense in the right place at the right time.
And you're seeing how comfortable Eternal Fire are here on Nuke. The fact that you're able to isolate probably the most important part of the map for the T side outside and just make it so they can't even play with it. It's super impressive. And it hasn't really been anything extreme. It's just a couple of different looks from Xantares. Good nades, good push this time, spams through the smoke.
That's a really cool changeup from Xantares as well, because you're right, most of the defense outside has been passive. It's been damage done by utility, done by spam, and this time he's like, nah, I'm going to push to Redbox. You're not going to expect it. You're going to be looking to spam back as you've done every single round.
I love the fight between Xantares and Boros too. Just two really raw players. There's so much individual skill, but Xantares just has that experience. He's just toying with him outside.
It doesn't feel like that much of a fight at the moment. Xantares is winning out that one each and every time. Boros has really only had impact in one round from that outside position when he's able to lurk and get a trade kill in mini on Xantares. Other than that, it's been all defensive-sided. 6-2, timeout comes to a close.
And the decision is a sporadic buy. An AK-47 from Madden down to $300. Everybody else on a pistol. So let's see. Madden was kind of the primary player in this half. He had one round where he got a 4K. He's only had one kill since then. And he was the player with the hero AK-47 in this round. And he is dead first. Not the start Falcons would have wanted. And round 9 is off to a slow start for the T side.
I can't really think of many rounds in this half that was a start that Falcons would want.
That's true.
This has been very one-sided.
Oh, back to ramp they go, and back into Woxic's AWP.
And a supportive rifle, although Katowice just shifted off. Wrong time for it. He'll come back to help out, grab one more, and it's just that AK-47.
It feels like the rounds are identical. You know, the last round and this one are virtually the same. Falcons don't get anything outside. They lose the player outside. They don't make it work towards top bomb sites. They have to come back into ramp, and you're funneled into the AWP and the supportive rifle. It's exactly the same round being played out again, and Eternal Fire's defense is just so sick at the moment. Magisk would have a 1v5 on his hands, and they look disciplined, because Eternal Fire, even though they're up so much, they're dominating so much, they're not making mistakes. They're staying composed, they're staying tight. And they're not giving any chances here for this to unravel.
It's the new composure of the new look, Eternal Fire, and it's looking really, really good.
It's true, back when like Imor was in the team, you would say maybe they don't show a lot of composure all the time. They start making mistakes when they're ahead, and then you see these comebacks come in. But it's a lot more controlled these days.
Well, this group of players for Eternal Fire has had their ups and downs in terms of cutting each other, replacing each other, bringing each other back in a number of times. They've probably had hundreds of conversations over the years. And something must have stuck when this roster come together, because the improvement is so impressive.
I think it's the surprising nature of Wukadia, honestly. Like, I don't think anybody expected him to be this good this quickly. Got a stable player added into the mix.
Aggressive defense outside, but they aren't messing with it. So Woxicop will be out of position for the execute, but it allows 3 rifles to be here in the upper bomb site, and Major's just got Molotov in hand.
And this change up, as Boros is actually with the pack this time, not lurking towards outside alone, because he just hasn't been making it work. So maybe if you send him into this top site, maybe he's the sharp tool that can open up the attack. Major, top of the site, cylinders, good counter utility, slowing down this attack. Falcons cannot break through. They cannot get into the site yet. And here they come. Mac 10 at the front. Madden goes in. Still gets one out of it. But remember, Major's in an off angle. And instead of reloading, he's playing gun game, switching through the rifles on the floor. And they've held Falcons at bay again. They can't get through HUD.
Great counter utility. Major was just ready for that execute. Molotov down as soon as utility streams in. Smoke to follow it up. So even the second layer of flashbangs are ineffective, because you're coming out and fighting through a smoke. Absolute disaster of a half for Falcons.
Well, Magic was in a 1v5 last round, now a 1v4. So it's just this now. It tells you everything you need to know. The defense aren't toppling. Falcons aren't able to get kills. This is just horrible for Falcons' T side at the moment.
And it's a perfect time for Major to have the game he's having. 17-3, and I mean, that should tell a pretty big story as well, because obviously he's been great at the defense at the upper bomb site, but because they can't go outside, because ramp has been a nuisance when you shift Woxic into that position, Falcons is really kind of stuck just trying to bust into the upper bomb side, and Major's getting a lot of attention, a lot of love, and he's rising to the occasion each and every time.
It's great to see Major playing this well, too. I mean, he's had periods of his career where it looked like he might have fizzled out, and that might be his time in the sun over, but this comeback to Eternal Fire after he was in the French scene for a while, playing with teams like LDLC, and he's come back here, he's got himself an Eternal Fire with the super team, and he's freaking out as he does it in Katowice. It's so sick to see him back here. And Falcons, well, yeah, I guess they're just out of ideas at this point. It's like, where can we go?
That's the look. What am I supposed to do? I think everyone's saying that down the line. A frustrating test for a new lineup together, trying to figure things out as they go, and Eternal Fire has them stumped. And there's simply not enough time together, not enough experience as a unit, I think, for Falcons to overcome this. These last 2 rounds would have to be something really special. They needed that economic break, and when they didn't get it, this half has just fizzled out entirely.
Here they go again.
Very one-dimensional, but it's all they've got.
We got one play, and they're trying to go for it. Woxic, he's pushed up outside. Here comes that top site hit, throwing in everything they've got. They've got a little further than they have before, and Boris is the player to get the kill on the MAC-10. So for the first time in a while, they have a chance to plant that bomb. But here come the nades. Bang, bang, and Sampaius will take significant damage, but will allow the plant to go forward. Magis takes out Woxic, and now we've got a 4v3 for the first time in a long time, favoring Falcons.
Has to be a win. Calyx coming in for the flank. Sampaius to guard that. Oh, he can't get it. Nightmare half for Sampaius.
Yeah, he's down and out. Good headshot from Magis, but it's just one, and Calyx able to follow up with a double. Magis has to win this 1v2, and the Dane looks up, sees Major leaping down into the site, but the bomb is not planted comfortably, and Calyx makes the quick maneuver through the lobby and back into the kill on Magis. So even a post plant that's favor for Falcons goes against them.
So much utility on the retakes as well. Multiple different angles. That'll be frustrating. That's kind of a trademark of the upper bomb side. Part of it is just like they feel like they can't go outside whatsoever. We haven't seen any action outside. No even test of getting into big garage or trying to wrap. But even just Snappy saying, we'll just keep running this because eventually you're going to shift your defense away to look at other things. You'll think you've stopped us. You'll think you've motivated us to go elsewhere. And he was right. They just still couldn't win it.
So now sending the AWP out with Boris towards outside. Woxic a little more passive this time around, but he has got Xantares with him. They blow open that smoke and try to catch a player crossing over, and it does work out. They take some Pius down with that, and Woxic through the smoke. Boris could do nothing about that. It's not a fair fight at all.
You waited the whole half to come back to it, and it's just exactly the same. 2 kills through the smoke. Eternal Fire fighting for every inch.
Good kill from Madden.
This is how it happened last time as well.
Exactly.
It's deja vu. 2 kills outside for Eternal Fire, but Madden cracks open the upper bomb site. Can they actually meet there?
Wakati is down lower, doesn't detect Snappy, who just gets across and takes his steps towards Decon. Madden is waiting inside of the site, doesn't have his teammates with him, but Snappy getting into the vent gives him a pathway back up to that A site. As we hit 55 seconds, Magic is joining from lobby.
Oh, this would be huge. Madden almost looked away. He's got it. Magic has to be a little cautious. He's got the bomb in lobby, and Calyx just missed the timing. That could have been everything. Snappy with another.
Calyx hears the utility being used. He knows he's got a good position. Snappy detected. This is going to be the kill. Calyx locks it in. Is there another one? No. He's taken out, and Woxic making noise. Madden's going to hear that maneuver as he gets closer towards main, and that allows the Falcons players to reposition, resettle themselves in this post plant as they desperately search for a must-win round here at the end of the half. Woxic gets close, and he's taken out by Magisk. What a half from Eternal Fire. Falcons did not have the answers. We'll see if they can pull it back in the second half. Eternal Fire came to Katowice to impress, and so far that's all they have done. A 13-1 win over Betboom in their opening game, a 2-0 to follow suit against the Rebels, and now their biggest challenge yet, Falcons on the brink of collapse in a 2-0 victory for Eternal Fire. 9-3 half is what they've got to try and pull back into the second here, Jason, and Team Falcons have got to do it on the defense.
Yeah, needless to say, pistol round's going to be massively important. It's a big difference of whether you can get out to that early start, that little bit of a jump. This lead can dwindle quickly if you win that pistol. Otherwise, you just have so much weight on your shoulders. Boros going to be tested to start.
Yes, towards ramp, the young player under a lot of scrutiny, under a lot of pressure, and does not handle it. Xantares is the bane of his existence in this map, showing him what a real aim star looks like. And now they continue down into the B-bomb site. Sampais makes the rotation here with Magisk.
Yeah, but they're going to wait for this. They want to stick it in a trap. Dualies, jumping Glock don't matter. Xantares, though, on point with the trade. Now Madden's going to come in behind, spearhead this retake from ramp room. All three players stuck behind the double doors control side.
Yeah, 3v3. It's doable for a retake, but still a favor to Eternal Fire as the time takes on here. Snappy coming down the ramp. Xantares needed to win that duel, and he does it. What a headshot from the USP from the Dane. But Woxic still fighting, and that defuse is not being committed to. Woxic can see it perfectly from the control room, but he will not control this round. It is Madden who gets back to that defuse, and Falcons who win a must-win pistol.
That's some fine pistol work from Falcons. They had about 3 critical shots that they had to hit in one bullet, and they got it each and every time. I think Madden gets 2 of them down the stretch. And that's a strong retake in a must-win round. 4v5 conversion.
That's despite some great shots for Xantares. This shot, though, from Magis really flips it around, and Madden able to help him. But that bomb did go down, and we know what that means. It means a good force buy is coming in here for Eternal Fire. They'll get rifles out, they'll get MAC-10 and Deagle with it. So they're not out of the woods just yet here, Falcons.
Now a chance to redeem their T-side with a strong defense. Madden's opened things up. Xantares takes a challenge at door. Madden's got 12 kills. The most impactful player, I feel like, in the first half for Falcons. Not that that was a huge bar.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. He's got to need some of his teammates to show up. In particular, Sampais, 2 and 12. And here they come into the ramp room. Boros once again under pressure. Did not handle it in the pistol. This time, instead of fighting, decides to drop down and just stay alive.
Yeah, he's got no utility. He had to make that call very, very quick. Snappy and Sampais keeping eyes outside to make sure nobody can cross over, but at the moment it's still just Boros downstairs as the only defender. And Eternal Fire is wrapping up towards heaven.
Oh, it's Madden with a headshot. Major is gone, and 2 players up now. Falcons, this has got to feel pretty good about quelling this force bite. Madden helping, and that bomb is down in hell, and nothing going the way of Eternal Fire here. They didn't get the momentum they were hoping for it. And that ends up being a 5th round now for Falcons. Unless Woxic's got something magic left in his gun, and well, that's 2 kills to draw it right back. Falcons give him a chance, and 30 seconds left. He heads his way back into the ramp room and will descend into B.
Magisk a little bit late on this rotation. He was outside. 20 seconds. Yeah, Woxic looking to get like one more mistake, one more player to alleviate some of the pressure. Magisk can't really stop this plant. He can set up and try and keep information on where he goes in the post plant and wait for Snappy to arrive.
This would be the ace clutch for Woxic. He's taking damage through that smoke. Snappy trying to draw attention away to allow his teammate to come in. Woxic will go down. There will be no hero clutch. The headshot from Snappy will secure the 5th round in the end for Falcons.
Yeah, but a little bit tense. I'll say as well, that's a situation you don't often see, especially if you're Eternal Fire wrapping to heaven from ramp room. The next fight you have is not usually 2 CT players pushing Mini to outside and fighting you lockers in heaven. That's not normally where the next fight comes from. So a unique change of rotation for Falcons, I think, is what really secures this round for them.
Oh, I was really starting to believe about Woxic winning that, though. Those 2 fights come in so quickly. He has enough health to get it done, but just couldn't pull it off. And now they're back to another decent buy here, honestly, considering the situation. 2 AK-47s.
That's the real strength of those 2 kills from Woxic, and it allows them to get that bomb planted. So they buy up, like, I guess we can't call them hero AKs, but 2 AK-47s and 3 players saved. So they have, like, a solid buy in this round and a solid buy in the next round as well because of this pattern.
Looks like Boros is going to have a lot of work in this second half.
And they just know to keep applying the pressure on this Falcons economy, keep the money low. Something Falcons couldn't do to them in the first half.
All right, Boros. What have you got on this ramp hold?
They're really testing Boros and ramp early on.
So far, not making too many ill-advised decisions. Oh no. This game just keeps getting worse for Sampais. Fortunately, the nade goes out.
Yeah, nade was great.
Yeah. If he just did that with a molly as well, you know, we'd be on point, but not to be the case, and Boros has dropped down. Good little gap here on the angle. He comes off it just at the wrong time, and he doesn't gather the information about how close they are. So Madden has nades in hand. He gets back. He has his rifle in the right position, but he's now smoked out, and that once again severs off the support for Boros. Madden has to change up his position, and Eternal Fire are composed, still taking their time committing into this lower bomb site. Eventually, they should detect Boros, but it's a little too late, and he gets a further kill. Xantares eradicates him, but Madden has found a gap, and he will seize his chance. Xantares goes down, and just Calyx left. Good headshot, but 3 more needed, and it just isn't going to happen for him. Falcons win a 6th round, and this comeback is really on.
Madden deserves a really nice piece of steak tonight. This is...
we're talking ribeye, we're talking New York strip, or...
Like dry-aged ribeye. Give it to him.
Okay,
this is
not quite Wagyu.
This is such a wonderful performance from him in a game where it feels like Falcons coming in a little bit flat and maybe a little bit lost and not a deep enough playbook to overcome some of this, but Madden has been so important. Even when the smokes come up, just being a distraction so they don't hard clear Boros' position, finding 2 kills, playing with the smokes, protecting Boros as long as possible. The impact he had on the T side is magnificent. Madden's keeping Falcons alive in this game. I didn't even mention the triple kill in the pistol round from Madden.
Yeah, he's just doing everything, isn't he? Such a valuable player.
But here's that buy because of only picking up 2 AKs and 3 pistols. This time they do a full house in the reverse direction. It's 3 rifles with 2 weaker weapons of a MAC-10 and a Tech-9. So finding ways to maintain a dangerous element to your round due to all these bomb plants that they've gotten, finally denied in the previous round. But unlike Falcons, they've been able to close out, or actually cross over to Secret and start probing and applying pressure outside.
Yeah. Xantares burned Snappy's credit card, and he's going to take a headshot too. Snappy cannot compete against Xantares. That has created a great opportunity. Not only that, but space has been taken. And look how fast Xantares has got up towards heaven. This could be a perfect position for Eternal Fire to collapse upon the Falcons' defense from 2 sides. Yeah,
they're executing the lobby crunch due to losing outside. They have to gain control elsewhere, and Major's very aware of it. Look at how passive an angle this is with this MAC-10.
Very vocal, too. You can see it on his player cams, communicating very heavily, likely telling his teammates to freeze. And when he goes in the lobby, he doesn't see anybody. And so Sampais is about to be put under a lot of pressure as Xantares comes over heaven. There's the warning shots, and that's going to be Calyx taking Sampais out. The attack from so many different positions, and Falcons not in the right place, not at the right time, and they can't get back into this.
Zonic's making a note right now. This is a round they'll go over post, because this is a round they get absolutely wrecked. They take that lobby control. They don't fully take it and control it and find Major and go deep, and then they just kind of assume that Eternal Fire has gone downstairs. With that kind of lobby crunch, they never gathered the information of what was coming next, and Xantares showing a little bit of just his head in heaven, knows that his teammates coming in from mini are going to deal with Sampais. Just completely wrapped and outmaneuvered Falcons, so Eternal Fire gets to double digits. And Falcons is going to have to invest in the next round. Magus can drop a gun over to a teammate. Boros can drop one as well at the detriment of utility if he wants it to be a rifle. But Falcons have to continue fighting with whatever they can.
So Madden is given an MP9. After all the work he's done, his reward is not a lovely steak. It is an MP9, Jason. And a bucket of utility to carry around.
Yeah. Great entrance. Wow, the snap over. Snappy's got to be so unhappy with that.
Yeah, this shot, Sampais is obviously so focused on heaven, he just can't deal with that.
He's just frozen. He can't do anything. And he probably knew it at the time as well. Like, you have to, you're kind of just guessing which peak is going to come in first.
Oh, good opening. Mukadia gets up on top of Silo, and Snappy is exposed. And oh my goodness, that could have been a great reply from Sampais through the smoke, but Xantares will stay alive despite taking damage. But that's going to be so frustrating for Snappy. We got to see a little bit of that playstyle from Snappy back at CAC when they didn't
have their full roster.
Have their full roster at the event. Deha wasn't there, and Snappy had to sort of pick up the slack and be disruptive towards outside. And he's doing it again here on Falcons, but not allowed to at the start of this round thanks to Wakadia. But Falcons have pulled it back, a couple of kills in, and a 4v3 up. It's a minute left in this round, and Eternal Fire still have options to go with here, and perhaps this ramp fight could open up even more as Major takes out Boros.
Oh, he's going to feel like that was a must-win fight. That's one he should have. Sunpius is in a really awkward situation as well. Low HP, and he's got to take a risk of crossing back to the other side of Big Garage to get into a position where he can help his teammates now in a 3v3. Magisk under a lot of pressure at the upper bomb site. Got to worry about multiple choke points.
35 left on this clock.
Falcons ain't comfortable in this setup.
No, they are not. Madden, he's usually so good towards this B bomb site. He's not in a position where he's gathering information. So Walk6 already dodged him. He's walked up all the way to control room. He opens those double doors and he's creating a distraction. But this top side finish is coming in here for Eternal Fire. 17 seconds, timing to look away. Oh, Magisk, that is a nightmare. He looks away at the wrong time. Madden needs to win this fight in the event, and he's just missed the timing too. Walk6 comes back down that ladder. Madden has an upgrade, and he comes back in again. AK-47 in hand this time around, and he's the player with health. Can Madden be the hero again of the Falcons? His talent sharpened, but he's taken out by Calyx, and a 1v1 up against Sunpius, who has had the quietest map I have seen from him in a very long time. 4 kills total, looking to descend down from heaven, making no secret of his position. He needs to win the fight, and he will not do it. Calyx gets it done. 11 rounds for Eternal Fire, and Falcons are not here to play.
No, and they got no money. They have absolutely no money. They've got to buy and scrape together whatever they can. It's going to be Scout, MP9s, pistols. Sunpius even had the read. Even just went for the fight and had it correct and could not complete the kill. And you're exactly right. Very quiet map from Sunpius, and he's probably thinking about that right now. Couldn't have gone worse for Magisk. But that's the thing. Playing without information, you hear that door open up downstairs, you hear the smoke plume inside the bomb site, and it's almost just forcing you to make some kind of a play.
Zatara's low, 36 health. The initial smoke spam battle. But when Falcons come to play with this kind of purchase, you don't feel confident, and you lose Snappy again at the start of the round.
Yeah, this is 3 back-to-back rounds where he's the opening kill. This one not really by any fault of his own, just spammed down through smoke. Wrong place, wrong time.
Now they think about a play towards Boros again. He hasn't been able to handle too many of the ramp plays when he's fought, and this time he's got an MP9. And that might be the weapon that gets the job done, because it's 1.5 kills. And he will absolutely take that if Sunpius can hit that softened up player, but it's not the peak of Wakadia coming in. Instead, it's Calyx. Sunpius landing shots regardless. And Major, look at that. Look at that positioning. Madden was completely unaware, and Major got a follow-up kill. And now Eternal Fire destined for 12 rounds, even though there's a couple of shots coming in here and there. It's map and series point for Eternal Fire.
Hard part is now that Falcons has just been broken in that previous round, 2 rounds ago. As we saw in Vertigo, Eternal Fire just so good at controlling the map when they have all the advantages. It's a 6-round lead, and nothing that we've seen from Falcons so far makes us believe that this comeback is possible. Desperate in round 19. Again, a very labored buy.
Fighting with pots and pans here, Falcon.
And what a stark contrast, too, because while Falcons could never take outside in the first half, Eternal Fire has been able to get outside. Falcons haven't been able to stop them even when they've put bodies and been aggressive there. They've been able to challenge into Boros over at Ramp Room and take over Ramp Room whenever they've won it. Falcons just didn't have the playbook to test all these various points of defense.
Zatara's confident peeks in towards ramp, does not land the shot, but does get the space. Forces that ramp player down into the lower bomb site. And we call them Falcons, but right now it's just one bird of prey that's doing anything. It's Madden on the 5-7. Boros overwhelmed from 2 sides, worried about too many different angles and couldn't quite handle it. 3v4. Falcons up a player for the moment, but Eternal Fire have shown that they can pull these rounds back regardless of how many players are up. Plant locked in, Walk6 on the lobby lurk, cuts off that rotation. The support is not being provided to Falcons on the retake attempt. The reinforcements are weak, the weapons even weaker. And Eternal Fire have come to Katowice with some expectations, and so far they've blown us away. They haven't dropped a single map yet, from play-in to group stage, and their first opponent is the Falcons, and they draw first blood. The eternal fire rages on in Katowice. What a statement performance in their opening in the group stage.
Statement performance is the right way to put it. That is a magnificent series. They were dominant on both maps, and you can just see this is a team playing really, really well together with some very strong pieces. Xanten